Cheva, what are we up to? Well, what did we get out? I don't know. What have I recorded already? I don't even know. What am I up to? Cheva, what did we get up to yesterday? What did we do yesterday? This is Shevuos, right? So where am I? Which I feel like that was test. I feel like I already did. Yeah, I did test already. So we're up to Yud. What did I get up to in Yud? I feel like I'm up to Yud. And then what does that get up to? Yeah, Amrullah. Yeah. Okay, I feel like we're up to Yud, and then tomorrow's Yud Aleph. Yeah, this looks about right. Yep. This looks about right. All right, so Daf Yud. Okay, so we did Daf Tes. All right, I think so. Let me just confirm. But let's see, what do I have here? What have I already uploaded? Daf 8 is there, and I did Daf 9 this morning, so I think this will be Daf Yud. Hopefully. I just got back from a levaya. My friend Reb Pesach Shtadlan. What's Pesach's full name? Pesach. Oh man, what's Pesach's full name? Pesach. I can't remember now. Pesach. Can't remember now. I think he's got another name. But Pesach Shtadlan, Pesach David Shtadlan, his mother passed away. And so he just got back from the Levaya. So let's learn Lilui Nishmas, Pesach's mom, Miriam. Okay. Alright. Where are we? We are on Daf Yud Omid Aleph. Azoy. Okay, I think we got up to Daf Yud Omid Aleph at the two dots, about 15 lines or so into Daf Yud Omid Aleph. There's two dots. Reb Meir Omer Kol Asirim Kaparos and Shavet Chulei. Reb Meir's opinion was that all of the goats, their atonement is equal, right? Whether we are talking about Sarah Naise B'chutz and Yom Kippur, whether we are talking about the Seirei Regalim, whether we're talking about the Seirei Rosh Chodesh, they're all interchangeable. They're all mechaper for Ein B'Yedei B'Tchila V'Yesh B'Yedei B'Sof, Ein B'Yedei Lo B'Tchila V'B'Sof, Tar Shachas Atame, interchangeable. Says Reb Chanina, my time of Reb Meir. How come Reb Meir says so? The Pasuk says Seir u'Seir. Oh, okay. Hukshu kol asirim zelaze. Mosevav alin rishon. Okay. Oh my gosh. Fine. I learned this yesterday. What's today? Friday. Yesterday was Yom Ha'atzmaut, and I'm on a diet now. I told you about my diet. Basically, I'm just eating salad. Basically. So I'm on a diet now. I've basically just only been eating salad because I had to lose weight. And then, but yesterday on Yom Ha'atzmaut, I went out someplace and I ate mostly just salad, but I also drink wine and stuff. I was reviewing this after that, and hopefully I did a good enough job. So again, Amr Reb Chanina, my time I did Reb Meir. How come Reb Meir says this? The Pasuk says Seir u'Seir. Okay, so that was at least by so by the Seirei Regalim, at least in the context of Pesach. It said Useir. Could have said Seir, but it says Useir to add on to Rosh Chodesh. Okay. Hukshu kol Seirim zelazeh, and we compare all of the Seirs to each other. Now, if you look in that parsha, I think it's in Pinchas. There's like a whole bunch of parshas all together there. There's like it talks about Rosh Chodesh, and then Pesach, and then after that, I think Shevuos, and then Rosh Hashanah, and then Yom Kippur, and then Sukkot. Okay, like it all talks about like basically like one after the next. So now, so it says Seir u'Seir. So the Vav says Hukshu kol Seirim zelazeh. All of the Seirs are compared to one another. Vav Mosav alin rishon. That the Vav, the u'Seir, is like adding to like the previous thing, and therefore things are being added to each other. Let's go weiter. It enters our mind that everything is being learnt out from each other. And I think kind of what this means is like, well, Pesach was like kind of compared to, Pesach, like my friend Pesach, whose mother just passed away. So Pesach was compared to Rosh Chodesh because there's like the Seir, Useir. Also, like right after Yom Kippur is Sukkot, and also there's like Seir, Useir, and you kind of like compare. So you kind of have the Rosh Chodesh Seirim, the Rosh Chodesh Seirei Regalim connection from Rosh Chodesh and Pesach, and then you also have the Seirei Regalim Yom Kippur connection from Yom Kippur and Sukkot, and then like because you have the Rosh Chodesh to Regalim to Yom Kippur, we can just kind of like learn out like everything from each other and just like everything's compared to each other. But Rabbi Yechanan says, in general, in the Torah, you can learn out like, one thing from another, like one hekesh from another. Like it would be totally cool to say that like, well, we learn out Seir Regalim from Seir Rosh Chodashim, and now once we know Seir Regalim, we can extend that to like Yom Kippur. Like that would be cool. The thing is, we just don't say that in Kodshim, and this is Kodshim. Right, this is Tumas Mikdash v'Kodashim, right? So again, Rabbi Yechanan says, Kol HaTeira Kula Lemeidin Lamed Milamed Chutz Mikodshim. That generally we can learn Lamed Milamed, but not for Kodshim She'ein Lemeidin Lamed Milamed. That we don't learn out hekeshes. Hello, Kasha. This is no. This is no Kasha. This is no Kasha. Why not? Kul mikama gamre. Okay, everything is being learned out from the first one. Okay, I think this ultimately ends up getting rejected. It's like a little bit. I think this is like a little bit unclear. Everything is learned out from the first one somehow. I don't know, somehow from like Rosh Chodesh or something. Where am I? Okay, but that works for the ones that say Uzir, but not all of them say Uzir. But then what about like Shevuos and Yom Kippur? Those don't have Uzir. So how are those like adding on to others? So rather scratch that. Amr Yonah says, Rabbi Yonah, the Pasuk says, Eile Taisu Hashem Moadechem. At the end of that whole thing, with all these like scenarios, with Rosh Chodesh and Pesach and Shevuos and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Sukkot, all that. At the end it says, Eile Taisu Hashem Moadechem. These you should do for God at their proper times. Hukshu Kol Hamoadim Kulon Zeh Lazeh. So there you go. You have that Pasuk at the end that just kind of rounds them all up and compares them all and says, have a good time. Rosh Chodesh Lav Moed Hu, or befragt die Gemara that Rosh Chodesh is in a Moed. So what do you mean Hukshu? Right, it says Eile Tazu L'Hashem Moadechem Hukshu Kol Moed is Kulan Zelazeh. Rosh Chodesh Lav Moed Hu, but Rosh Chodesh is not a Moed. So Iber Rosh Chodesh Nami Ikri Moed Taka. Rosh Chodesh is called a Moed. Kedamar Abai said, Damar Abai Tammuz Dai Shato Maluye Malyuhu. That Tammuz of that year, which year? The year of the Meraglim. When the spies went into Eretz Yisrael, Rashi says they went out to Eretz Yisrael on the 29th of what was it, Sivan? Yeah, on the 29th of Sivan. And then Tammuz was made up into, was a Chodesh Maleh. And therefore, because Tammuz was a Chodesh Maleh, so when the Meraglim arrived back in Eretz Yisrael, arrived back to give their nefarious report about Eretz Yisrael, on the 8th of Av, and it was that night, right, as Rashi says, Vayivko am balayla ahu, says Rashi, that when it says that the Jews, that the nation cried on that night, it was B'Tisha B'Av Bachu, B'Chiyah Shel Chinam V'Ukba Lehem B'Chiyah L'Doros, that it was on the night of Tisha B'Av that they cried for no reason, and it became a day of crying for all generations. Dichsiv Kora Olai Moyed Lishbar Bachure that, and then it says, because Kara Alai Moyed, and it says there that he made it into a Moed, that this day of Tisha B'Av was made into a Moed, that Rosh Chodesh was Chodesh Malei, to make it a Moed, to destroy my young ones, right? That i.e. that Tisha B'Av would always be Tisha B'Av, and this we could tie into Pesach Shtadlan's mother, because she passed away yesterday on Yom Ha'atzmaut, and she was like very involved for Am Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael, and as a tikkun for the Meraglim with their nefarious report, we have Yidden like Pesach Shtadlan's mother who are standing up and supporting and showing their love for Eretz Yisrael, and she went, and that's when she went up to the Shemaim, to the Bnei Shalom on the day of Yom Ha'atzmaut. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yochanan, mother of Meir, B'sara Naisa B'fnim, Shu Eino Mechaper Kaparoson. What did I just do? Rabbi Yochanan, it says Rabbi Yochanan, Umoder of Meir, that Rabbi Meir admits, however, B'sara Naisa B'fnim, that with the goat that is offered in the one that with the blood is sprinkled in the Kodesh HaKodeshim and in the Heichel, so that one Shu Eino Mechaper, it's not part of the group, right? The group is Sarah Naisa B'chutz and Seir Regalim and Seir Rosh Chodesh, but not the Sarah Naisa B'fnim. Vehein Einen Mechaperin. Where am I? Sarah Naisa B'fnim. Shu Einen Mechaper Kapar Rason. Vehein Einen Mechaperin Kapar Raso. That it is not Mechaper, right? The Sarah Naisa B'fnim is not, right? So meaning we had this group, right, with the Sarah Naisa B'chutz and the Seir Regalim and the Seir Rosh Chodesh, that they're all Mechaper for each other, right? The Sarah Naisa B'fnim is not part of that group. Its kapara does not work for those other things, right? So it's not mechaper for any of those things, and those are not mechaper for what it is mechaper, i.e. Okay, where am I? So who enu mechaper kaparosin? How do we know that the Sarah Naisa B'fnim is not b'chaper their kaparas? Because it says by the Sarah Naisa B'fnim kapara achas. Where am I? Okay, who kaparas and kapara achas mechaper even mechaper shtei kaparas. Because the pasuk says by Sarah Naisa B'fnim, it says achas. Right? Where does it say? Was it? I think it was B'chipar aharon al karnos of achas bashana midam achatas, etc. So it's once. So achas, it only does one kapara, which is yesh b'idiyah batchila v'en b'idiyah basof, not any of the other kaparas. Hein and mechaper kapara also, and also they are not mechaper its kapara, because the pasuk says achas bashana, once a year, i.e. kapara zo lo te'ela achas bashana, that this kapara, the kapara of yesh b'idiyah, well, not kapara, it's really a toled, right? But yesh b'idiyah batchila v'en b'idiyah basof is only toled by Sarah Naisa B'fnim, nothing else. Tanin Yochim Yochid, learn a verse like this: Al she'ein ba yediyah lo batchila v'lo basof, when there's no yediyah at all. V'al she'ein ba yediyah batchila aval yesh ba yediyah basof, when there's no initial yediyah but there is yediyah basof. V'al tar shachos atamei sir haragolim v'sir rosh chodashim v'sir nasa b'chutz michapen divrei mer v'ilu Sarah Naisa B'fnim shari v'kapas and namishari. But excluded from that group is Sarah Naisa B'fnim, as well as what it's mechaper, which is tole, which is yesh b'idiyah batchila ve'ein b'idiyah basof. Givaldig. Hoy Reb Shimon Omer, Sirosh Chadashim Mechaprin ala Tor Shachas Atame Chulei. Okay, so Reb Shimon said that the Sirei Rosh Chodashim are mechaper for Tor Shachas Atame. So Bishlam the Rosh Chodashim lo mechaper adir galim. So I understand why the Sirei Rosh Chodashim would not be mechaper for the regalim. Damakra of an echad unose ve'enose shnei avonis. Right? If you remember, I think it was from yesterday, that the pasuk says by the Sirei Rosh Chodesh, it says oven, one oven. Oven echad unose, it only is mechaper for one thing, ve'enose shnei avonos, nothing else. Okay, therefore it's only mechaper for tar shachos atame, not for ein b'yediyah lo b'tchila v'lo b'sof. Haval ella. But why don't we say that the Sirei Regalim should be mechaper for what the Rosh Chodesh is mechaper for, which is Tar Shachos Atomim? On my Kra, Osa. No, the pasuk by Rosh Chodesh says, Sirei Rosh Chodesh, it says Osa, it. Osa no say avon. The Seir Rosh Chodesh is what is mechaper for Tar Shachos Atomim. Ve'ein acher no say avon. But none of the other no other korban will be mechaper for tar shachlas atame. Bishlam the regalim loy mechaprin ad yom kippurim. So I understand that regalim is not mechaper for regalim lo mechaprin ad yom kippurim is not mechaper for what the Sarah Naisa ba chutz is mechaper for, right? Exactly according to Reb Shimon. Because the Amar Kra, Achaz Bashana. The pasuk says by Yom Kippur, Achaz Bashana, once a year, i.e. Kapara Zolote Ela Achaz Bashana. This kapara of Saranaisa B'chutz of Ein B'yediyah B'tchila V'yesh B'yediyah B'sof is only mechapered once a year and that is by the Saranaisa B'chutz. Nothing else will be mechaper for it. So therefore, the Sirei Regalim cannot be mechaper for what the Saranaisa B'chutz is mechaper for. Ela d'yom kippurim nichaper ad regalim. But can't the Saranaisa B'chutz be mechaper for ein b'yediyah b'tchila v'lo b'yediyah b'sof? Right? What the Sirei Regalim is mechaper for? Amakra achas kapara achas mechaper v'enu mechaper shtei kaparos. No, the pasuk says by Yom Kippur, achas, one, it only does one kapara, not more than that. If you look at the pasuk, let's read the pasuk. V'chipar aharon al karnosav. What's this talking about? Karnosav, the karnos of the mizbach hazov, mizbech hapnimi. We're talking about the Saranaisa b'fnim over here. Achaz b'shana midam chatas hakipurim. The chatas hakipurim is the Saranaisa b'fnim. Achaz b'shana yichaper olav v'doseichem kodesh kodesh. This pasuk is talking about the Saranaisa b'fnim. So why are we talking about the Saranaisa b'chutz over here? And for the Gemara, Omar Kra, yes, but the pasuk says by the chatas hanaisa b'chutz milevad chatas hakipurim. The iskush chitzon lefnim. It says, but by the Saranaisa b'chutz, it says milvad chatas akipurim. We've seen this before, that the Saranaisa b'chutz is an addition, and therefore is connected with the Saranaisa b'fnim, and therefore whatever we say by the Saranaisa b'fnim, we can apply as well to the Saranaisa b'chutz. Reb Shimon ben Yehuda Omer Mishmo v'chulei. So the Mishnah had said that Reb Shimon ben Yehuda says that that he had this interesting mahalich where basically the Sar Anaisa, the Sar Rosh Chodashim is mechaper for Tar Shachos Atame. The Sar Regalim is mechaper also for the Tar Shachos Atame, and in addition to that, to and the Sar Anaisa B'chutz on Yom Kippur is mechaper for Tar Sha'achal Atame, for Ein B'yediyah Lo B'tchila B'sof, and additionally Ein B'yediyah B'tchila V'yesh B'yediyah B'sof. Okay, so now Mashna Rosh Chodashim D'lo mechaper Eder Regalim. So how come Rosh Chodashim are not mechaper for what the regalim is mechaper for Ein b'yediyah lo b'tchila v'b'sof? Well, the Amar Kra oven, because the pasuk by Rosh Chodesh says oven echad unose ve'enu nose shtei avonis. That the Rosh Chodesh, with the Seir Rosh Chodesh, the Korban Rosh Chodesh is only mechaper for one oven, not more than that. And therefore it's not mechaper for whatever the Sirei Regalim is mechaper for. The Regalim nami lo nikapra ad Rosh Chodashim, but by that measure, the seir regalim should not be mechaper for tar shachol es hatame. Why does Reb Shimon ben Yehuda say that it is mechaper for tar shachol es hatame? It shouldn't be mechaper for tar es hatame. The Amar Kra Osa, because the pasuk by Rosh Chodesh says Osa hu nosei avon ve'ein acher nosei avon. That the pasuk also says by Rosh Chodesh that it's specifically the Seir Rosh Chodesh that is mechaper for tar shachol es hatame. Nothing else is mechaper for that Osa lo mashmale. Well, Reb Shimon ben Yehuda doesn't understand Osa that way. So Kilu Ovin, he understands to say that the Seir Rosh Chodesh is only mechaper for one thing. He does not understand Osa to say that only the Seir Rosh Chodesh is mechaper for tar shachol es hatame, and therefore Seir regalim could also be mechaper for tar shachol es hatame. Ma'ishno regalim so mechaper ad Yom Kippurim. How come the Seir regalim are not mechaper for ein b'yediyah lo b'tchila v'lo b'sof? For ein b'yediyah b'tchila v'yesh b'yediyah l'sof. How come it's not mechaper for that? For what Yom Kippur is mechaper for? Because the pasuk says by Yom Kippur achas bashana. Kapara zolote ela achas bashana. That this kapara should only be once a year, i.e., by the Sarah Naisa B'chutz. That is it. So therefore, the Seir regalim cannot be mechaper for Yom Kippur. But if that's the case, Yom Kippurim nami lo nechaper ad regalim. Well, then we should say that Yom Kippur is not mechaper for the regalim, because achas ksiv kapara achas mechaper ben mechaper shtei kaparos. Because I should say this the limit of, well, just like say achas bashana means that only the Sarah Naisa B'chutz can be mechaper for what it's mechaper for, which is ein b'yediyah b'tchila v'yesh b'yediyah b'sof. But by that measure, we should also then make the sort of buddy the other limud in that pasuk, which is achas, to say that Sarah Naisa B'chutz should only be mechaper one kapara, not also and also tar shachol es hatame. It should only be mechaper one thing. So achas lo mashmalei, Reb Shimon ben Yehuda doesn't hold of that limit of achas. But amai, why not? The chiksiv achas b'sara naise b'fnim ksiv. Is it because that when it says achas, to say, right, so he doesn't learn of the limit of achas, to say that the Sarah Naisa B'chutz is only mechaper for ein b'yediyah b'tchila v'yesh b'yediyah b'sof? Is it because when it says achas, it's by the Sarah Naisa b'fnim? Right? The pasuk says b'chipa aharon al karnosav achas bashana, and achas there is talking about the Sarah Naisa b'fnim. But if that's the case, iachi the regalim, where am I? Iachi the regalim nami nechapru Adiyom Akipurim, the chiksiv achas, when it says achas bashana, Sarah Naisa b'fnim ksiv, right? But if that's the case, then the other limit of achas bashana, from which we said that this kapara is only once a year, i.e., by the Sarah Naisa b'chutz, and therefore the Seir regalim cannot be mechaper for ein b'yediyah b'tchila v'yesh b'yediyah b'sof, because of achas bashana. But if we're saying that pasuk is limited to Sarah Naisa b'fnim, so it's limited to Sarah Naisa b'fnim. It has nothing to do with Sarah Naisa b'chutz. Oof, sorry if this is getting confusing. But basically, then, by that token, if we're saying that the Sarah Naisa B'chutz can be mechaper for other things, for ein b'yediyah b'tchila v'lo b'sof, as well as tar shachol es hatame, because achas is talking about the Sarah Naisa b'fnim, well then achas bashana should also be talking about the Sarah Naisa b'fnim, and therefore other things should be able to be mechaper for what the Sarah Naisa B'chutz is mechaper for. Oh, sorry, it's confusing. Le'olam, but here's the answer. Le'olam achas mashmalei. Look, here's the thing. Reb Shimon ben Yehuda does hold of the limud in principle of achas. That when it says achas, it means that this korban is only mechaper one thing and nothing else. However, the thing is, v'shani yochad amrka b'chiper aharon al karnosav achas bashana. Karnosav the mizbeach apnimi, who the kapara achas mechaper v'enu mechaper shtei kaparos, hadechitzon afilu shtei kaparos. That basically when the Let's read the pasuk. V'chipar Aharon al karnosav. Al karnosav is specifically the Sara Naisa B'fnim. And then it says Achas Bashana. Right? And we're saying that Achas, we're learning that limud of Achas to limit it that it's only mechaper one thing and nothing else, but that's specifically by the Sara Naisa B'fnim. But then when the pasuk continues and it says Midam Chatat Kippurim Achas Bashana Yechaper all of the Osechim Kodesh Kodesh, that already is not specifically for the Sara Naisa B'fnim. That could also be talking about the Sara Naisa B'chutz, and therefore other things are unable to be mechaper what the Sara Naisa B'chutz is mechaper for. I.e., Siri Regalim cannot be mechaper for Ein B'Yediyah B'Tchila V'Yesh B'Yediyah B'Sof. However, the Sara Naisa B'chutz can be mechaper for other things like Ein B'Yediyah Lo B'Tchila V'Lo B'Sof and Torah Shel Chazotamei Chevet. Sorry if that got confusing. There's like all of there's just like these limuds there's just like these limuds of like, this is limited to that, that's limited to that. It's not that hard, but you gotta like, it's very technical though, so it could like drive you nuts. It's not hard. If you do it slowly, it's not hard. But like, it's kind of technical, so sorry about that. But I hope you enjoyed anyways. Peace out.